darling. Yes, sirree, it's little old me, fat gal with the stuff that's more than enough. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Show, as you know, is Movie Macabre, and welcome back to it. Now, the movie this week promises to be sheer torture. As a matter of fact, it even has torture in the title. It's the torture chamber of Dr. Sadism. Or sadism, I mean, take your pick. Don't pay to split hairs. Unless, of course, you happen to be a sadist, then I guess it might be kind of fun. And this movie stars that master of villainy, Christopher, my friends all call me Chris, Lee. Yep, it's Christopher Lee as Dr. Sadism. Now, that is a name I could use to describe my boss here at the station. I told the program director. I mean, especially when I think about what he pays me. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Dr. Sadism. I think I'll start calling him that. Not to his face, of course. I mean, I ain't that stupid. But, you know, behind his back. I think... Oops. Hello, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Oh! Oh, Attila, it's you. Yeah, oh, you know? Yeah, I was just talking about you. Yeah. Oh, you know that. Then I guess you heard my little funny, you know, when I was calling you Dr. Oh, you say you have a new pet name for me? Oh, good. Well, what is it? Say your new name for me is History? What? Oh, you mean like I was fired? You fired? Oh, that's a good one, Attila. That's really cute. It's about as funny as I was when I was kidding around. And what? Just, hello? Hello? Listen, why don't you just enjoy the movie, and if I ain't back during the next break, you can probably catch my act down at the unemployment line.
My own.
Well, I'm still here. Attila hasn't lowered them. I'll just keep my fingers crossed. Boy, I have been trying to figure out if I've ever heard this Count Regular yarn before. I'm not really what you call into German folklore, and I wonder if it always has to be told in rhyme. Guy, could you imagine me having to do my thing in rhyme? There once was a sadist who killed for a lark. Take it from Elvira, Fraulein of the Dark. His name was Count Regula. He murdered, he maimed, and I guess you could say he was properly named. From the walls of his castle they called Andamai, came to shout, hey, that Count is a regular guy. Hey, not bad, huh? And then, to get even with Regular for all the rotten things he'd done, the authorities made him go around in public wearing some stupid-looking mask. Finally, they had him drawn and quartered, and whoever did the quartering did a pretty good job, but whoever did the drawing was strictly amateur. The torture chamber of Dr. Sadism continues right after this.
Where I was born.
Oh, gee, and I went and left my violin at home. Well, guess that just makes him sort of an orphan, doesn't it? And he's courageous, all right. Oh, yeah, he proved he was courageous when he took this picture. Well, after 35 years, the mere mention of Count Regula's name still sends shivers up the spines of them villagers. I mean, asking for directions to Castle Andamai drew about the same reaction as the one I get whenever I ask for a raise. Oops. I forgot I don't want to rattle Attila's cage. Regula's victims were 12, count 'em, 12 virgins. It's lucky for me that I wasn't around back then, or I might have ended up as virgin number 13. Well, it's off to Castle Andamai in search of Count Regula. Leonard Nimoy, eat your heart out. If you want to hear it rhyme, it's up to the castle and over the moat. Look out for Count Regula, 'cause he goes for the throat.
Go on, talk or not, if you say so. If you say so.
Well, if he don't say so, I say so. Get a move on, Jack. Boy, how long a trip is it to that bloody castle? What's the driver doing, taking a long way around the Black Forest? Did anybody happen to notice if he had a meter in that carriage of his? He's probably just taking him around in circles. And the same darn thing happens to me every time I take a taxi from the airport. First time hearing this? Why, yes it is. Bingo. Oh, by the way, Attila, the program director, just called back a few minutes ago. He said he's changed his mind about handing me my walking papers. The way he put it, it's punishment enough just making me sit through this movie. I told you the man's a sadist. Boy, if I saw a bunch of spooky-looking type doors just creaking open all by themselves, I know I'd want to go charging right on through them without even giving it a second thought. And the line of the week has to be, I knew it was a trap. Actually, they should have had a clue back out there on the road. And the last few miles were getting to be pretty bizarre. I mean, it's no big deal for trees to have limbs, but them limbs ain't usually arms and legs. And those clever speed bumps in the middle of the road, now they should have told them something too. But no, they just keep on charging right through every open door that comes along. Well, if the boredom factor starts to set in, just try keeping track of how many doors get slammed on them jokers before this movie's over. I know that's kind of reaching for something to do, but did I ever promise you a rose garden? All in favor of going to a commercial? Nod your heads. Phew, now that was a close call for Babette. I mean, another couple of seconds there and she'd have been shishka Babette. And what about that butler? I mean, is he ever murder on the rest of the help? Literally. I mean, all Babette did was spill a little of that cheap wine, and for doing that, he went and dangled her over a bed of nails? I mean, good help doesn't grow on trees, you know. Well, except maybe out there in that forest. You know, it has taken better than a half of this movie to get to the torture stuff. I mean, instead of calling this turkey the torture chamber of Dr. Sadism, they should have called it the long coach ride of Dr. Sadism, or how about the weird-looking forest of Dr. Sadism? Or they could have done us all a big favor and just called it quits. What gets me is how those people keep on getting separated from each other. I mean, first Babette ran off on her own, and now the guy with the whiskers bolts out of the room. Why don't they just all stay together in one place? You know what they say, there's strength in numbers. I mean, it ain't smart to get split up. And if you don't believe me, just ask Count Regular.
I shall destroy you.
Oh, yeah? Well, whips and chains may cause me pain, but words'll never hurt me. Psst. I was expecting that butler to say, Count Regular, we'll see you now. You'll find him in the study, and in the dining room, and in the den, and in the library, in the bathroom, in the kitchen. Come on, Count, pull yourself together.
You shall be the 13th.
What makes him think she's a virgin? I mean, with all that makeup and that dyed black hair and all that cleavage, why, she might be a virgin after all. Oh, now I remember reading something in the credits about this movie being a rip-off of an Edgar Allan Poe story. Well, this story is about as Poe as they get. Oh, according to the credits, it's supposed to be based on Poe's The Pit and the Pendulum. Actually, it's kind of close. I mean, all night long I've been saying to myself, boy, this movie sure is the pits. Oh, hey, is everybody having a good time?
This is a great moment for me.
Yeah, I figured as much. Enjoy yourself, okay? And try getting a little sun. Well, we'll do these commercials and then get back to the action. Now that things are starting to swing, I can hardly wait. Hardly wait. Boy, that was a close call. Or maybe I should say a close shave. Well, that little trick with the rock was even a new one on Edgar Allan Poe. Now, I've got to say this joke for you, okay? You are gonna love it. Okay, there was this sadist and this masochist, see? And the sadist, he says to the masochist, I am gonna torture you like I've never tortured anybody in my life. I'm gonna kick you, I'm gonna beat you, and I'm gonna make you even listen to an old Dinah Shore album. I am talking major torture. And the masochist says, oh boy, go ahead, make my day. Well, the sadist just thinks a minute and then he says, April Fools! Get it? Get it? He changed his mind and he's just kidding. What is this, an audience or an oil painting? Oh, heck, that's what I was afraid of. An oil painting. Well, how about this? How many sadists does it take to change a light bulb? No, Lillian, it wasn't just a bad dream. It also happened to be a bad movie. Now, if you feel the earth moving on your feet, don't panic. It ain't an earthquake. It's Edgar Allan Poe turning over in his grave. Well, let's ask Chris Lee what he'd like to do with this turkey.
Throw it away.
What? You mean throw this masterpiece in the dumpster?
Throw it away.
Oh, sure, Chris. Anything you say. We'll never run it again. Now, I know what you're saying. That clever little Elvira, she's done it again. From the first moment to the last, it was a laugh-packed riot. Especially that part when she was making things rhyme. Well, you know what they say. I'm a poet and don't know it, but a couple of parts of me show it, because they're big fellows. I mean long fellows. My feet. I'm talking about my feet. And plus,